fought any other of your programs in terms of what you're doing, but you know that this is a particular item that hits a raw nerve with us. And to think that, call it arrogance, I don't even know what to call it, but to think that you were going to actually do this, slide this under our nose, I don't get it. I don't get it. I would recommend that the county take the hit on this, all right? Close the shelter down. Redirect the funds, but take the hit. It's commendable that you guys are going to take the right action after April and you're not going to renew it, and that's a step in the right direction. But there are a couple of key messages that you should go back to your boss and say, Astorino, bad for children, unsafe for the community, unsafe for our children. Think about that as you think about this man that has been elected. Think about that the next time you actually go to the voting booth. When we look at where is Mayor Young, not Mayor Young, Mayor Davis, okay? At least Mayor Young, who was actually instrumental in sort of preventing this last, showed up tonight. No idea. Yeah, he was quoted in the paper with me today. Well, we gotta do something.
He got an email.
Yeah, he knew about it.
City council is all here.
Right.
Why is the mayor not here?
Exactly. Okay, can we? So a couple, those are some of my key messages. It's great to see everybody out here. This is ridiculous. You know, and I thought we agreed, I thought we had a partnership with the community to shove this down the throats. Look at the people around here. These are the people that also surround your area. These are also people in the community. And to think that you would actually try to push this through again, not remembering what we went through before, is just ridiculous.
I wondered, and I said, in Friendship Center, there's friendship for tots. And friendship became enemies for tots for the minister. And there is the money. And so I think it's so much insensitivity. It was insensitive. What was the motivation? Money. And money is the root of all evil. That's all was the motivation. And it is a shame because we have so much to fix in Mount Vernon with the children. So much. I went to Pennington. And the reason why I went there is because my children were there. In grade 1, in grade 2, in grade 3. I knew the teachers. I know what they enjoyed. And I thought that K through 8 is a wonderful thing. And as a realtor, it becomes a little harder for me to rent an apartment on Summit Avenue because Summit filters right into Friendship Center. And ironically, I have apartments to rent there. How am I going to attract a parent with children, little children? Children, they can't process it. They can't process homelessness. It's not that we are crying it down. I want to be Mother Teresa. I want to help the homeless. But we don't want to destroy our kids. And this is what it's going to do because they're going to be thinking.
I don't even live on this part of town, but this is an issue that concerns me. There is not just, you see, we're all away a few minutes. You're going to have to retime me.
Keep talking, keep talking.
You're going to have to, listen.
Keep talking.
Let me tell you, it's not just about mental illness. It's not just about those who've been formerly incarcerated. It's not just about those who have sex offender status. It's about any time. A friend of mine told me, you know what? When you go into the fire department, a lot of times you may see those guys in there, they just chilling and they cooling, watching TV until they get that one call. And when they get that one call, all hell breaks loose. Okay? And then you have a situation that you cannot backtrack on. Listen, if you really want to put money into this community, build up the old YWHA. Okay? That's the Harley Park. If you really want to talk about helping the community, go down, listen, every morning when I go out jogging, there are people in Harley Park sleeping. Okay? You need to bring a triage team from DCMH and say, listen, we need to get you the services. Take you up to the behavioral center and what? Because you know you can't hang out at Dunkin' Donuts all night. And yet, there's a service, there's a need in this community, but the need is not where you have to go from one side of town, which is literally a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, to try to get service, because chances are they're not going to make it there. People going to wind up sleeping in your yards. They're going to be digging through your garbage cans. And this is not to put a negative picture on the homeless population. Trust me, a lot of these gentlemen and women are fine people, but the problem is that, you know what? When you think from your butt up, okay, things come out the wrong way. Thank you.
Okay. Come on, let's focus on.
It's funny.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I would like the way I would get help in my school and in my life for people who don't have help. Because my mom says people can do all things through Christ who strengthens them. My mom's right there. Yeah. My mom was also PTA president of my school. So she gets all, oh, you should help people. And I would like to follow that. So I would like to be like the Michael Jordan of the community.
With the lawsuit, the federal lawsuit that Westchester County had faced about affordable housing in other parts of the county.
Lawsuit that was settled. The current county executive has been in dispute with HUD as well as with the U.S. Justice Department for the last 4 years. And that dispute has caused HUD to withhold funds from areas in Westchester County. They're really deserving of getting those funds. That's something that is really still in litigation because the federal government has moved in the federal court to enforce the provisions of the settlement that they had reached with the county. And so they're still waiting for a judge to decide that at the appellate level on the lawsuit.
Okay. And my next comment is about things don't happen in isolation. Mount Vernon taxpayers got a pay increase. Our leadership is failing us. Nobody is representing the taxpayers. So there are all these agencies for the homeless. Homeless have been in our city forever. Rockland has an outpatient mental health clinic forever here. It's not about not caring about the lesser of us.
Right.
It's about preserving the ones who are struggling to survive. And it's our time to start bringing in some resources for the homeowners. And the dumping has got to stop. I understand that the city of Mount Vernon has done a blight study. Is that true? That there's a radius that has been basically condemned. 3rd Street, is there a study or a blight study?
I'm not, I'm not on the city council anymore, but I don't know anything more than what I've read in the newspaper. I know that in the newspaper it says that they have done a blight study, but I don't have any other information.
Is that why the county legislators think that they can dump here?
Well, it's not the county legislators. Let me make sure that is clear. It is the county executive who made this decision. Right. Okay.
He needed 2 other votes.
Well, no, he needed
2 votes plus who else?
He needed on the Board of Acquisitions and Contract. It didn't come through the legislature.
Okay.
It did not
And it
come
won't
through
come
the
through the
legislature. And it would not come through the legislature. The only, what I think we're going to be looking at, and I'm going to ask after this hearing, and all of you spoke, I'm going to ask the legislative committee to look into what can be done to remedy the situation that occurred here in Mount Vernon. And if it means that we have to enact some kind of legislation, then we will. But that's what my role will be as your legislator, to advocate for them to do something about reversing that situation.
Because our concern is what the value of our primary investments are. This is not selfish. This is what we chose to do, and we chose to do it here in Mount Vernon, and we're being driven out by outsiders.
Received any notification that this was going to be going on in my 2-year-old child's school. And I'm offended by that because it makes me feel as if my investment is of no value. And that's the problem.
I'm telling you, the facts. Who is your neighbor? We are his neighbor. The community is his neighbor. And even if the legislature didn't follow, or the office didn't follow the protocol, the bottom line is he should have at least said something to the community. Because what he's doing is going to affect the community. It's common sense. It's common decency. It's totally disrespectful. Now, let me just address one final thing. Obviously, the county exec didn't think we were worth it. Maybe I should have opened my checkbook and given him $1,000. I probably could have done that. It probably would have saved us all this headache. But the bottom line is we do vote. And let me tell you something. Not everybody in Mount Vernon is a Democrat. So he may think he's not getting any vote here, but he does get some vote here. And the bottom line is this. We will fight this tooth and nail. We are going to fight this all the way. And let me tell you something. If I have to bloody up Westchester's reputation by writing the newspaper and whatever else I have to do, I am going to do my part. I am going to make it so expensive and so embarrassing that, you know what, he's going to be sorry he did it. Thank you.
Was for January to April 15, October 15 through December 31st. And I already told you, come April 15th, we're already going to begin to look elsewhere. Okay, that's number one. Okay. As for the amount, that is the not to exceed amount. They get paid per client that comes in. They don't get paid a blanket check, and if nobody shows up for a week, they're not getting paid. So that's a not to exceed. It's not like he gets a check at the beginning or at the end, regardless of who shows.
So we want to encourage more people to county.
So in other words, the more people that are there, the greater amount of payments are going to be made. But let me, hold on. I think he says 18 beds. 18 beds. 14 beds? Yeah. The contract, I think, says 18 beds. The contract says 18, but you can tell us, I mean, obviously, you hear what you've heard here is people do not want it there. So whether it's 18 or 14, they don't matter. It doesn't really matter.
There were two questions that you asked. The first question, Mr. Orles did hear what you had to say. He said that they're going to look in the future. The contract is a not to exceed contract. And as it was in the past, because that shelter, that was a warming center, I believe it's 2007 or 2008, that there was a contract there to do that. And yeah, that's correct. It was done away with because the Department of Social Services decided not to send anyone there for the various things that you brought up this evening. That doesn't need to wait 6 months. That could be a decision tomorrow. Keep it in mind that there's certainly our county responsibility to deal with social services law. That being said, we can make the thing work, and what I expect to happen is that we will not be sending anyone to the shelter in the near future and working through this particular process to resolve it tomorrow. Not to that shelter, because we have a few more that we have. So we have some other options, and clearly y'all made your voice heard. All right? Have a good night.
Thank you all for coming out. I just want to, let me stand and say to you that I am proud of my community for standing up and saying that we want better where we live. We don't want worse. So thank you all for coming out. Have a pleasant evening.